Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Glossy Philosophy. My name is Jansen Binman. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up because today we are covering what to pack, what to take on your fabulous trip to Europe, so stay tuned. About a month ago, I was getting quite a few questions about what to pack for Italy, what to pack for a European trip. So today we are finally covering what to pack for your European trip. Now, before we start, I have to do a disclaimer because it has been about 10 years since I've been to Europe, and I'm talking Western Europe, which is where I was getting most of the questions, Italy, France, Greece as well. So the first thing that we have to talk about besides that disclaimer is this is a very generic European capsule wardrobe, and it is also for about a week, maybe a week and a half without doing laundry. The other thing that I really want to emphasize is that I feel like every city, every place that you travel has their own vibe. And of course it is a general vibe. It is not a specific person vibe. So when I'm talking about Italy versus France versus Greece, each place has their own vibe. And I feel like if you are staying in one place longer than another, or just going to one of those places, then really hone in on the colors that you are going to be surrounded by in nature, in architecture. Definitely do some Pinterest searching and some YouTube searching for what people who actually live there are wearing and recommending. And even, I love looking on Vogue France, Vogue Italy, Vogue England, any of those places, just to get kind of a vibe of what's going on over there from one of the top magazines in that country. So I've kind of mixed and matched a bunch of different countries in case you are going on a European tour, but also I will be kind of talking about specifically what I would or wouldn't wear in certain countries. Two other considerations before we even start going into the clothes. One is your bag, and number two is going to be shoes. Let's talk about bags. For me, I am the family photographer, so I'm carrying my camera bag. If I'm going to Italy or France, anywhere in Europe, I'm going to be carrying my big, heavy camera everywhere we go, which can also double as just a crossbody bag. However, if you are not the photographer of the family, or you're just going to be using a click and shoot kind of a camera or your phone to take photos, having something a little bit smaller that you can easily close and open that still feels like you have a little bit of security is going to be a lifesaver, because anywhere you go in Europe, you are walking, and you are walking on cobblestone streets usually. So something like this Talbots bag in a silver, I think, is a really fun way to add a little glitz and glam to your otherwise very neutral palette of clothing that you're bringing with you. Another bag company that I would recommend would be Think Royland. They have some of the best indestructible bags out there. They have their bum bags, which carry quite a bit, and it has a zipper closure. You can sling it over your shoulder as a crossbody. You can wear it around your waist. They come in some really fun and funky colors. So that's another brand that I would recommend if you are not the photographer of the family. If you are the photographer of the family, instead of going with a crossbody, I would recommend a backpack, because you are going to be walking for many miles, and DSLR cameras are quite heavy. So either downsize on your camera, get a lighter weight camera that will still do the job that you want it to do, or get a camera specific backpack, because I'm telling you, your back will thank you, and so will your shoulders after about, the 10,000th step that you've taken for a week. Okay, now we need to talk about shoes. Shoes are very, very important when you are traveling to places like Italy and France and Greece. You are going to be doing so much walking. If you've never been there, the streets are usually not paved, especially if you're doing a lot of tourist sightseeing. If you're going to religious sites, historical sites, anything touristy, just know that it's going to be cobblestone, which is very romantic and lovely, but it can be hard on the feet. So you have to go function over glamour. Don't go with your 3-inch heels. Go with a sandal, and go with a leather sandal. If you don't want to look like an American, drop the sneakers, grab some leather sandals, either slip on or tie up. They're very, very comfortable now. I like Sam Edelman. I like Born. I like Dolce Vita. You can even go with something like a reef sandal, but just make sure it's a little bit classier than your average flip-flop. Over there, they still are not really into the super casual footwear, and it's one of the fastest ways to just say, hi, I'm an American, is by wearing flip-flops and by wearing athletic gear and also athletic accessories. So keep that in the back of your head. Why is that important? I think when you're going to another country, I think you just go for it and you really settle into the vibe that they have over there. And I think it's also a really great way for any pickpockets that might be over there to not single you out. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now that we've covered lots of different things, let's get into the actual clothes. What are you packing? It is very important when you are traveling for long periods of time that you think sensibly, but that doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started putting this capsule wardrobe together, it was quite boring. So I suggest laying out all of your clothes, getting a clothes rack somewhere where you can really visualize, see everything that you want to take, and then it's so much easier to start editing because this rack has changed about 5 times before making this video. Now, you want to pick 3 colors that are going to be your main ones. As you can see, we have white, we have black, and we have blue, and that is pretty much the only colors that are going on this rack. Whenever you are doing a capsule wardrobe, it's really important to just stick with 2 or 3 colors. It's just going to make it a lot easier to mix and match with your pieces. This is also a great time to be honest with yourself. Are you a separates person? Are you a one and done person? If you're a one and done person, you just pack as many jumpsuits, as many dresses as you want to, and we'll just talk about a few things when we get to those pieces. If you are a separates gal, don't even worry about packing the one and dones. Just ignore that portion of the video. You can create that illusion with separates as well. You don't need both. However, if you like to play with your clothes and you consider yourself a separates and a one and done gal, then you are going to love this entire rack. So let's get into the outfits. First up, I have 3 button-down shirts in short sleeve in cotton and linen that are basically the same silhouette but just in different patterns. Why? This makes it so much easier when you are mixing and matching with your other separate pieces, and you know that the silhouette is going to look great on you and you're just changing it up a little bit with the pattern. No one will know that you're wearing pretty much the same thing every day because you're changing it up with the colors. As you can see, I've chosen all 3 of my colors in each shirt, and that gives me enough variety that even though the silhouette and the cut is the same, even from the same company, it doesn't feel the same when you put it on. I've grabbed my pop of blue. I'm going with a lighter kind of French blue. This feels so chic and so European, and yet I can dress it down when I'm in America with denim, but I can dress it up with black over in Europe. I can also do that in America too, but we are going to Europe. So we are going to pair it with black bottoms, black shorts, black skirts, black pants, whatever you feel the most comfortable in. Something in a stripe, you can't go wrong. Not only is it trendy, but it's just classic. This works really well from Italy to Greece to France. It just feels very polished and yet very undone, which I feel like is very European. The next one is a black and white striped shirt, and the stripes are not over the top. There's enough of a difference between these two that, again, when you put it on, it doesn't feel like you're wearing the exact same shirt. And of course, it goes really well with all the black bottoms that we just spoke about. The last one is going to be based in black with pops of white. Now this feels a little bit dressier. So when you are going to those religious sites, when you're going out for a fancy dinner, this is a great top to wear from morning all the way into the evening. And you can just add some accessories, some jewelry, or change up your shoes if you have a chance to go back and get into maybe just like a little kitten heel to walk around the town. But having something that feels a little bit dressier is really nice because I guarantee you there will be those days when you think, why did I pack so casually? It's nice to have a few pieces that can elevate what you are also bringing. On top of this, you want to bring some t-shirts, some tank tops, and also a longer sleeve shirt. So let's talk about the tees and tanks. Black, just straight up black, but with an interesting silhouette that's going on the shoulder. So it gives us a little bit of a stronger shoulder. Again, it feels very European, very chic. You can wear this anywhere. And again, because it's black, it feels very dressy without over the top, and just add like a killer necklace and it feels killer necklace, killer earrings, and it just feels a little bit more elevated. Of course, we are going with a striped boat neck tee. I mean, if this doesn't scream France to you, I don't know what else does. This is great for pairing with patterns. It's great for pairing with solids. Have fun with this one and don't be shy about wearing stripes in Europe because everybody does. A white tank, you can't go wrong with this. The great thing about a white tank, again, it's just going to mix with all of the other separates. You can always wear it underneath if you feel like you need a little bit more coverage. And if it is boiling hot, throw on a jacket when you go into those religious sites and then take your jacket off as soon as you leave and go into that hot, hot heat. In case you didn't know, there are a lot of places, especially in Italy, where they are very strict about the dress code, especially if you are visiting those religious sites, which means that there's no spaghetti straps showing, there's no bra straps showing. So you need a thicker strap. And sometimes you even need to cover your shoulders. So out of respect for the culture, out of respect for the place that you're visiting, make sure that you know all of those details as you are packing. So if this feels like kind of a wasteful item, I promise you it's not, because you will end up layering it. And again, you might even layer it with a jacket that we're going to talk about. A couple other tops that I would bring is something that feels a little bit dressier than a t-shirt, but it's still very breathable, very hot weather friendly. So it is a sweater kind of muscle tank. It has, again, that really fun boxy silhouette, so it's going along with the shirts that we're already packing, but it just feels a little bit dressier. Again, for those days when you know you're going to be inside those museums, or you are going to the Vatican, something like that where your shoulders have to be covered, this can be a really great option to mix and match with your separates, or even going out to dinner. I always like to bring something that has a little bit of a sleeve, because what if it rains? What if there's a weird cold snap? You just never know. And because this is in a linen or a cotton gauze, it's going to feel just fine. Sometimes it's nice to have your arms covered in that hot, hot sun. Even though it doesn't make sense when you first start thinking about it, if you cover up your arms, I don't know, there's just something magical that happens and you just kind of cool your body down. And white reflects heat, so it's going to help more than hurt. A jacket. You definitely need to bring some kind of a linen jacket. This one is from Evereve. I got it last year. They have very similar silhouettes and very similar jackets right now, either from Blank NYC or from cut from the cloth, and also Evereve themselves. This one, because it is in kind of a lighter linen color, is going to go well with pretty much everything that I'm packing. And again, it's going to pair really well, especially with that tank top and anything else when I need to cover up just a little bit more. Now we know what we're wearing on top, but what are we wearing on the bottom? How are we mixing and matching all of these things? This might feel like a lot, but you're gonna go through it so fast, especially if it is really hot. So let's talk about the bottom options. I have a couple skirt options, and you absolutely by no means have to bring all of these. These are just options depending on where you're going and your comfort level. The first one is going to be a ribbed black pencil midi skirt. This is very breathable. It's really great because you can ruche it on the side, so you can really control how high the slit is, how low the slit is. You can loosen it up, you can tighten it up. So if you're going out for dinner, you can tighten it up and raise that slit. If you are going to a religious site, you can loosen it up a little bit. The black, it just pairs really well with all the tops, and the ribbing detail just gives an extra little bit of texture. It's also very breathable, so it feels really good in the summer. I wore this on a 90-degree day outside last summer. This is from Michael Stars. They come out with the same thing every year, and I was at the zoo and it was great. No complaints at all. Very breathable, very movable, you know, and especially with something a little bit looser on top, this feels very appropriate. Another option would be kind of a more traditional pencil skirt but with a little bit of added button detail. If you are going to Paris, if you are going to France, I feel like the vibe there is elevated, sophisticated, just cool, casual. I feel like in Italy, it's a little bit more on the dramatic side. So something like this could be really great to have in your back pocket or in your suitcase as the case may be. It's again going to pair really well with this kind of undone vibe we have going on the top, and yet we have a few fitted items that can pair really nicely with this as well. Because I don't know about you, but there are definitely moments during my vacation, especially if I'm on a longer vacation, when I get tired of wearing the same silhouette every day. So it's kind of nice to mix it up between boxy tops and fitted tops so you feel like you're not trapped by what you actually pack. So having something like a traditional pencil skirt can be really, really nice, especially in a chambray. Again, it feels very fresh, very modern, very breathable, and yet it's still very sophisticated. Now, if you are going to Italy and you need a little bit of drama in your life, you want to go for that fuller skirt because it just feels so bohemian and so good in the city. So the first one is going to be a blue one from Talbots, and this is a patio skirt, and it is basically, it's almost a maxi, it almost goes all the way down to the floor, but it leaves you just a little bit of that ankle showing. Pair it with espadrilles, pair it with your leather sandals, and it looks very casual, chic, very cool. This is 100% cotton, so it's very breathable. The other great thing about wearing a skirt like this is that as you walk, you get all that wind going on and it feels really nice, especially on those hot days. And yet you look like you're part of the culture. You look like you're participating in the place that you are going. This could also be really beautiful in Greece as well. The skirt just feels very appropriate for those two places specifically. However, you could absolutely still wear it in Paris. This one doesn't get any more bohemian than this. It is a black gauze cotton tiered maxi skirt from Sundry. If you haven't tried Sundry before, you need to, because their cotton, their linen, their gauze is just so good. The quality is phenomenal and it will last you forever, I swear. So this one I got a few years ago, but I'm sure they have something very similar right now. And you can pair this with your fitted tops for a little bit more of that proportion play, or of course you can also pair it with your button downs as well and just kind of tuck them in to your waistband, and it looks so good and feels, again, it just feels like heaven when you're walking around. Now, let's say you're not a skirt kind of gal and you want to bring some kind of a short, or you want to bring a pant because you're worried about rain, you're worried about just being chilly. Definitely make sure that you have some kind of a linen pant. Again, I think it's just a good idea to have a pant option. Make sure that it is in cotton, poplin, linen. I like a darker color for linen pants because you don't notice the creases so much. I love these paper bag waist ones from Evereve from last year. I believe they are still on the website. They have been so good to me and I wear them all the time. They iron really, really well. I know that you can get a travel iron, so if you are bringing a lot of linen and you are like me and can't stand the wrinkles when you first put things on, make sure that you invest in one of those as well. And also make sure that it works in European outlets. If you want to go with a short, you need to go with a dressier version. We're not doing cutoffs, we're not doing denim. You want to go with black, you want to go, think like that suiting trend that's happening again this summer, which is a blazer with kind of more of a suit style short. These are from LOFT. I have shown these so many times and they are finally back. LOFT is carrying them again. This is the new version with a little belt, and I love this little eyelet detail. I think it's just a fun play on a traditional black short. However, they do have regular pleated and unpleated shorts as well. I would go for something that isn't in your traditional cotton. I think a linen feels a little bit more European. It feels a little bit dressier. Get a pleat if that feels really good to you. Make sure it's just not super tight and make sure it's not too short, because that can also get you in trouble in those religious sites, especially in Italy. We have moved on from sets. We have mixed and we have matched as much as we can. Now we need a couple one and done pieces for dinners out, or those quick mornings when you have to catch the bus with your tour, or you just have to get someplace really quickly for that croissant. So we are going to be bringing a few dresses. This one I think screams France because it reminds me of Dior 1950. It has that same very feminine silhouette, fitted on the top, flows out from the waist, and it just feels very French, doesn't it? So this one is a great one. This one is from LOFT and it fits like a dream. It is insane. This one feels like it can go anywhere. It's just a great summer dress. Again, it's in a great material. It has a very feminine floral pattern on it, but it's not too big that it overwhelms the body. It has a nice waistband area and it just feels like it could fit in anywhere you go on your travels. The next one, a black dress. You definitely want to consider taking some kind of a black dress, whether it's a little bit more fitted, whether it has a little bit more drama in the sleeves, depending on where you're going. If I was going to France, I would pick something a little bit more fitted, or you know, you can continue along with that Dior vibe, and this can be really, really cool, again with a red lip, very chic, but this one feels just a little bit more Italian to me because of the sleeves. The last option is, of course, a black jumpsuit. Now, if you haven't tried a black jumpsuit, I would highly recommend getting yourself to your nearest loft store or ordering this one online. It has a really nice high neck, so it's not going to get you in trouble anywhere you go. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It feels amazing. It's linen and it's a wider leg, so it feels, again, very carefree, very easy, and yet it feels very chic. I think this one fits in anywhere you're going, any city that you're going to, and of course all of these items don't just feel Europe specific. Whenever you're traveling, sometimes we tend to want to buy very specific situational items, and I always have found when I've done that I regret it. So make sure that whatever you are buying, whatever you are bringing with you, not only feels good in Europe but also feels good at home, because when you come home you will still have these clothes and you should want to wear them and remember all the wonderful memories that you made. So that is your what to pack for Europe capsule travel wardrobe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know when you go on these longer vacations, especially so far away from everything that you know, it can feel very overwhelming and you don't want to get over there and wish that you'd brought that jacket, wish that you had a few more silhouette options. So I would really recommend not only trying everything on head to toe with jewelry, with shoes, with your bag, and make sure that you feel very comfortable, but also just make sure that you throw in a few surprises for yourself, because I can almost guarantee you that you are going to wish you had just a few more silhouettes. Don't pack everything the exact same. Give yourself a little variety and you will enjoy your trip so much more. I do fashion videos every Wednesday, beauty videos every Friday. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram and watching the shorts in between, because I am doing more mixing and matching and more outfit options for you to make your life a little bit easier and a little bit more glossy. And I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.